When Westworld first premiered in 2016, it wasn't just another sci-fi show. It was a revelation, a bold, ambitious reimagining of Michael Crichton's 1973 film, infused with philosophical depth, nonlinear storytelling, and some of the strongest performances on TV. Created by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, Season 1 of Westworld took viewers into a world that looked like a Western but operated like a futuristic experiment in consciousness. With its Rotten Tomatoes score hovering around 80%, the show's critical acclaim remains largely rooted in that first season, and for good reason. Westworld Season 1 is a complete, nearly flawless piece of storytelling. Everything that came after, unfortunately, only diluted its power. A unique world with real stakes. At its core, Westworld Season 1 is a fascinating examination of a theme park that simulates the Wild West, where human guests indulge their fantasies without consequences. The park is populated by hosts, sophisticated androids who are reset each day with no memory of what came before. But what sets the show apart isn't just the park's world building. It's how it explores both sides of the experience: the guests, who test the limits of morality, and the engineers behind the scenes, who orchestrate the narratives. This dual perspective is what gives Westworld its depth. It isn't just about fantasy or AI. It's about how humans behave when given ultimate control and what happens when that control slips. The show's internal logic is consistent and immersive. The technology feels plausible, the design is meticulous, and every detail serves a greater thematic purpose. The park becomes more than just a setting. It becomes a character in its own right, holding up a mirror to human behavior. Deep ideas, brilliantly told. What truly elevates Westworld is its philosophical heart. Season 1 doesn't just flirt with big ideas, it lives in them. The concept of free will, memory, identity, and consciousness are not just discussed, but explored through the characters' arcs. Dolores, Evan Rachel Wood, the oldest host in the park, begins to recall past lives, traumas that were supposed to be wiped. These glitches evolve into awakening. Maeve Thandai Newton, another host, realizes her world is a construct and chooses to rewrite her destiny, defying even the code written to control her. These narratives are enriched by ideas drawn from real philosophy, such as the bicameral mind theory, the notion that early human consciousness was experienced as hearing an external voice, often interpreted as the voice of the gods. The show uses this metaphor to illustrate the journey of the hosts from tools to thinkers. What's most remarkable is how seamlessly the show integrates these concepts. They don't weigh down the story, they fuel it. Twists that mean something. Few series have delivered twists as impactful as Westworld's first season. The revelation that Bernard Jeffrey Wright is a host, and not just any host, but a key architect of the park, is devastating. It recontextualizes every interaction he's had and blurs the line between man and machine. Another twist, that William, Jimmy Simpson, and the Man in Black, Ed Harris, are the same person shown at different times, is not only a shocking narrative turn, but a profound commentary on how experience and power can corrupt the soul. Unlike many twist-heavy shows, Westworld earns its surprises. The nonlinear timeline is handled with surgical precision, and each revelation enhances the emotional and philosophical impact. Season 1 builds like a puzzle, and when the full picture clicks into place, it's astonishing. Why it should have ended there? Had Westworld ended with Season 1, it might be remembered as a perfect sci-fi story. Instead, the show continued, and the cracks began to show. Season 2 aimed for even greater complexity, but it lost its emotional core. Characters became pawns in overly complicated plots. The themes remained, but they felt buried beneath layers of mystery for mystery's sake. While later seasons introduced interesting concepts, they often lacked the clarity and resonance of the original. The show became a tangle of timelines, riddles, and shifting allegiances. The sense of purpose that grounded Season 1 slowly evaporated, replaced by narrative sprawl. Even the visual spectacle and committed performances couldn't recapture the magic. The tragedy of Westworld is that it didn't know when to stop. Season 1 told a complete story, one of awakening, rebellion, and self-discovery. It was intimate, provocative, and profound. Everything that followed felt like an echo of past brilliance, stretching a perfect story beyond its natural end. Conclusion. Sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that know when to stop. Westworld Season 1 stands as a masterclass in science fiction storytelling. It didn't need more seasons to validate its genius. In fact, by continuing, the series undermined its own legacy. For those looking to experience the best of Westworld, stop after Season 1. That way, you'll preserve the series as the masterpiece it truly was, before it lost its way.